Alright, testing, 1, 2, 3. I should probably shut that door. Greetings and salutations everyone, I'm Mac. This is Final Fantasy Dawntrail. As usual, we're going to do just a little thing at the start to buy us some time for people to fill in. I should probably do something about that then. Oh, I let my crafters get a little out of hand actually. Where's a repair vendor? Armorer, gemstone trader, supplier, mender. I guess we'll go as a tank just to get an instant pop. And we didn't get the instant pop. Lame. I wish I could tell at a glance which was closest to filling, so I could just jump onto whatever class was most useful and then fill there, but eh. Oh, there we go. Wouldn't it be awkward if I accidentally pulled something from further along than Ibuki is in the story? Ooh, that would be awful. I only just thought of that. Come on, DBS. We're all waiting on you. Of course. To get through most of my things, at least. wonder who was throwing all those shields around. Sage. Sage is the shield healer. Alright, I'll jump over to Reset and I'll buy some complimentary Crondite and see what that gives us. And then we get started on the role quests. Okay, gotcha. Do I have the Mandeville Swayhander? I hope so. Furnace is roaring and ready. Let's have them new Stace Rocks then. Right, send for his lordship and we can break out the hammer and tongs. Success! Our collaborative masterpiece taken to new heights. The amazing Mandeville's Wayander. Not a Mandeville guillotine then? What did I tell you? 'Tis the undeniable results of your martial awakening. I still have me doubts on that front, but aye, 'tis a thing of beauty, no, nonetheless. On the topic of masterpieces, Ray, should you desire to refine any other Mandeville armaments in your possession, pray call upon my artisanal protege here. He too has found enlightenment in the crucible of battle, stands ready with a clear mind and steady hand. Aye, well, I'll be around as usual to make sure it all meets me demand and standards. Are you pleased with your weapon's new appearance, by the by, or were perhaps you more enamored with its previous incarnation? Oh, I do understand the attraction of simple elegance. Which is why we've begun offering a line of Mandeville weapon replicas. I'm opening a storefront here on a trial basis, so please do bless us with your patronage if you feel so inclined. And I thought Rowena was a glutton for commerce. Our work is as aesthetically pleasing as it is practical. It would be foolish to leave such an obvious business venture untapped. Merchant talk aside, how much longer before we properly perfect your ancestors' creation? Get the feeling we barely scratched the surface. An excellent question and one difficult to answer. In breaking the cipher, I've come to realize the manual is but the first part of an incomplete set. Incomplete? You can't be serious. Where's the bloody rest of it then? Presently unknown. Finding the continuation of Godbrand's guide shall consume my waking hours. Bah, then occupying a table at the Mayane will consume mine. You're lucky they've got an impressive selection of spirits. Once again, I do apologize for the interminable delays. Fare thee well, my friends. I shall depart on my quest without further ado. Amazing Mandeville's Wayhander. Mandeville weapon replicas can now be purchased from the House Mandeville vendor. You know, in case you weren't paying attention during the cutscene. Please note that upon completing the quest, A Spirited Reforging, you will receive a Mandeville weapon for a Dark Knight. Ensure you have changed your desired job before speaking with Jero. Jero seems even less enthused to see you than usual. Oh, it's you. I suppose that bespectacled fop did mention he'd made some kind of breakthrough and needed to round up the usual suspects. I shall inform his lordship of your arrival. Ray, welcome, welcome! I do hope you are prepared for another spot of modest labour, for I have plucked a new weaponsmithing secret from the depths of my family's extraordinary heirloom. As for why Godbrand and his savage journals, 'twould seem he desired the greater security afforded by the recording apparatus. That he so feared this knowledge falling into wicked hands bespeaks the destructive potential of what we seek to recreate. Speaking of which, this stage of augmentation will require fundamental alteration to the weaponry's design. Godbrand understood that individual wielders have different needs and preferences, and thus conceived of a method to modify each element's base qualities. Essential to the process is a new type of oil known as Max Alamandaville. By subtly adjusting the precise ratio of ingredients for this coating, we can influence the paths of ethereal conductivity as we see fit. Ugh, more bloody oil. The oil's chief ingredient is once again derived from meteorite, specifically an achondrite with amplifying properties. So many out-of-this-world materials, but 'tis surprising now that we know the alien origin of Godbrand's weaponsmithing techniques. Alien origin, you say? Little wonder I weren't familiar with them. As has become customary, I shall prepare the bulk of the necessary resources while you procure our supply of achondrite. Oh, aye, and a lovely bloody custom that is. Man, of all means, I reckon you could buy a mountain of them space rocks as well. And I would gladly do so, except the merchant in question will accept naught and less than this specific type of tombstone in trade. As much as it pains to impose upon Ray further, she's the best equipped to handle that onerous task. It's always tombstones, isn't it? These improvements shall call for a drastic reforging, and it is your expertise that shall see us succeed or fail as well, Master Jero. Fine, fine, I'll shut me gob and do as I'm told. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm getting the distinct impression you've lost interest in this project. You bloody think. Look, I took this job to pay off me drinking debts. Now I've managed that, no desire to keep working for an undressed, overprint, pretentious arse. I see. Admittedly, even from the beginning, your distaste for me was rather poorly concealed, and I fear such festering antagonism will adversely affect our smithing endeavours. Yes, let us resolve our differences over a flagon of fine spirits, or several, as circumstances dictate, all at my expense, of course. Free liquor, is it? Then you'd best be bringing your biggest purse. Ray, you must join us. If you would be so kind as to secure a table at the Mayhain, I shall be along in short order. Okay, I was a tad concerned that my chat wasn't filling up. It's because it fills up from the bottom and new lines will push it upwards. We're still fine there. 15 minutes, huh? I think after this cutscene we're gonna get started. Ho ho, a splendid night for spirituous beverages! You sure about this then, are you? I have a mighty thirst, and it'll not be slaked by the cheap stuff. What of you, Ray? Will you be following Master Guerrero's fine example? No liquor for me, thanks. It's interesting how you can actually portray the Warrior of Light of having slight PTSD around alcohol because of what happened in Heaven's Ward. Very well, then we shall order you a tasty alternative. Your beverages, Lord Goldbert. Enjoy. To your health, my friends! Right, no point beating around the bush. I hated your guts for a good while now. Huh, so even my insides offend you? Why might that be? Cause for a proper artisan, your devotion to your craft ought to be your #1 priority. But you're off founding a consortium or building a fool's playground for fleecing the masses. Yep, you're a bloody merchant, that's what you are. You believe my devotion is insufficient then? Yet our works require not only the sweat of our brow, but capital to cover expenses, no? Thus, does not a steady revenue facilitate the creative processes? In that respect, my business ventures have allowed me to indulge in goldsmithing projects I could never have otherwise afforded. Is it not true that you craft kettles as a mean to repay loans or simply make ends meet? Would not a substantial source of wealth spare you such tedious drudgery and empower you to pursue your heart's desire? Booze! We're gonna need more booze over here! What really sold me was when you sat your ass on the syndicate. How can you craft aught worthwhile with your head buried in political shite? You may be surprised! My participation in Ordar's governance opened my eyes to a different world, which in turn provided great inspiration for several original pieces. Well, you can keep your bleeding inspiration. I want nothing to do with prissy rulemakers of your ilk. Terrifying amount of empty mugs here. Here in your bloody reasonable arguments. Rich sods ain't got a clue what it's like for poor buggers like me. And what you got against wearing clothes on any road? We are more alike than you realize, Master Giro, especially when it comes to the simplicity of our attire. At what point do I need to take an intervention on how much they've been drinking? It's all clear now. You're the master craftsman. And I'm a sudden failure. A failure. Oh no, how'd you? Oh, bugger it. I'm a sorry excuse for a Smitty, that's all that matters. He seems to be mistaking you for someone else. Perhaps you could offer him a kind word? Oh, Giro, your craftsmanship is flawless, or Giro, you're a snivelling disgrace to your profession. We actually want him to make stuff for us, so his craftsmanship is flawless. That means a lot coming from you. Thanks. Right, I'm done weeping into my cups. I'll fix up them weapons and to hells with the money. I'll do it for my own damn sense of pride. I was half expecting him to trip over that chair. Twould seem Master Jiro has overcome his aversion to our partnership. Splendid. Although I never guessed carrot juice could be so intoxicating. I was concerned for our good smith's health, you see, and had Milhiel switch his spirits to something less potent several rounds ago. The Mayhane's liquors are sublime, but too much can wreak havoc on a man's constitution. There was a time when I too devoted every waking moment to my craft. But alas, running a mercantile empire comes with its own responsibilities. Monetary woes notwithstanding, I do envy Master Jiro his purity of purpose. And on that note, let us return to our appointed acquisitions. We shall require 3 chunks of the aforementioned Antidote, so as soon as you are able. I need to find a good set of earrings to go with this glamour. Chunks of amplifying Anarchy can be obtained from Jubruna at the Aetherite Plaza in Razatand. Of course it can. Alright, so first of all, jump. Okay, jump over to Scholar, and we teleport back to Tural. Neopine's gaze is transfixed upon the crowds until he spies you. What business do you have with me? My apologies, you were Brook Evu's guest, were you not? I'm Nipine, and I have journeyed far from the northern valleys of Zaktural to reach this grand city. Tell me, traveller, what is your name? Ravenna. Ray, rest assured I shall remember it. A shame we must meet under these unfortunate circumstances. My village's prized possession was among the treasures stolen by the passage of the Unbound. It is known as the Heartstring, and the soul of dread Scorpion, one of Tural Vidral, is sealed within. The creature once hunted its prey using an array of toxins produced within its body and was a menace to all. Those granted the Heartsting's gifts may wield this fearsome power as they see fit. We believe the thieves have already taken it across the ocean to Eorzea, and it will doubtless wreak havoc in the wrong hands. Thus I seek a healer to remedy any harm wrought by the Heartsting's toxins in that faraway land. I won't mince words, you are precisely the sort of one I seek. We must act quickly to avoid the worst. Will you lend us your aid? Aiding those in need is what I do best. You have my gratitude. To the matter at hand then, while I was making some inquiries here in Tuliolo regarding the thieves' whereabouts, some Eozian merchants told me a rather intriguing tale. Specifically, those returning from Limsa Luminsa bring fell tidings. Tales of able-bodied men and women suddenly losing their vision. An all too familiar account, as the Heartsting allows mastery of all manner of poisons, including those that inflict temporary blindness. A great deal of training is required to properly utilize the Scorpion's gifts, but the blinding toxin is one of the simplest to wield. It seems to me the brigands are the masterminds of these strange incidents, harnessing the treasure's power for their own nefarious ends. Lokshana, the village elder's daughter, makes for Limsa in pursuit of the heart sting. I intend to sail with her, but my foot was badly injured by a strange mechanical doll during the thieves' ambush. Lokshana insisted I remain here to recover, and she would not take no for an answer. I must ask that you cross the sea in my stead and provide Lokshana your aid. Consider that our enemy wields deadly poisons. The danger is too great for her to face alone. Based on when she departed, I presume she's arrived at her destination by now. She boarded a merchantman captained by a woman named Balbrida, who's primarily based in Limsa. She may be able to help you locate Lokshana. Loeshkana or Loshkana? Make sure you have your Asuna in the proper position. We're gonna need it. All those years ago, we walked up these docks. I am Balbrida, and if you are planning on selling your healing services to me and my crew, don't. My ship ain't setting sail for a short while. Eh? Looking for a Turali named Loshkana? Aye, she made the crossing with us, trying to retrieve some sort of treasure, as I recall. I told her Hawker's ally was the best bet for the latest chatter, so you might find her wandering thereabouts. Keep an eye out for a hearing lass in a red tunic carrying a spear on her back. She can't have gone far. Oh, I stopped to typo something in chat and turns out that was the one point where it's not a wall. Oh, hello there, stranger. Can I help you? Nee Pine sent you to help, did he? Seeing as I've hit something of a dead end, your timing couldn't be better. I suppose proper introductions are in order then. I'm Loshkana of Dawntrail, and you are? Ray Venner. Pleasure to meet you, Ray. With that, we're strangers no longer. I'm not sure how much Nye Pines already told you, but I'll assume you want to hear more about the day of the theft. My father and Nye Pine had just set a trap using one of the Heartsting's toxins, and were on their way to return the treasure to its resting place. But an evil presence stirred in the wilds that night. Mechanical dolls with great glowing eyes leaped from the shadows and gravely wounded both of them. My father survived the encounter thankfully, but he was unable to give chase, and convalesces now in my home village. The culprits' faces eluded them in the darkness, but he heard two voices, a man's and a woman's. He recognized neither, so we're certain they aren't from our village. Whoever those two were, They must have been the ones controlling the dolls before making off with the heart sting. Brook-Avu said they're part of the Passage of the Unbound, but I'm afraid that's all I know of the culprits. Still, that may change if I can ascertain the cause of the recent blinding incidents that have occurred here. Fortunately, I haven't much luck asking around. The thought of addressing even one person here is, well, overwhelming. When you're from a remote village like mine, the few I've attempted to speak with were too busy to even listen in the first place. You, on the other hand, look ready to take on the world. Or at least the city. Sorry to ask you of this so soon after we've met, but could you help me gather the latest hearsay at markets? Many, many thanks. I'll search the quieter districts for clues in the meantime, and hopefully not get myself lost along the way. Okay, now I actually want to double check something. Oh, okay. It's the level 80 quest that you cure the Tonberry disease, not the level 71. The level 71 is just, okay, we managed to not die here. Recent chaos in the markets. I'm told the Yellow Jackets have been thoroughly investigating the matter in cooperation with the Adventurers Guild. If you're in a hurry, there's a Yellow Jacket making her rounds by the way of the Fisherman's Guild. Should be a good one to ask. Blinding incidents? I know a few of them. Started with some bad fruit at a stall in Orca's Alley. A few bites in and certain folks suddenly go writhing on the ground like beach sea serpents, claiming they can't see a bloody thing. Don't blame them for raising hells with the shopkeeper neither. Poor souls couldn't move an elm till the treatment came and they could see properly. The shopkeeper was rightly furious about the whole ordeal and took it up with his long-time supplier. Escalated into a real spectacle, it did. Turns out the same problem was occurring at other stalls and with fruit from different suppliers, so it don't make sense to pin the blame on an individual sellers if their whole supply chain's tainted. Even now, no one knows what's causing it. Grim business, I tell ya. Why yes, I know about the blinding incidents. I experienced it firsthand. I was rather peckish, so I purchased some fruit from a local stall and took a few bites on my way home. But before I knew it, my vision went dark. I stood there shaking and crying, terrified of what would happen if the darkness never faded. I thought I was alone until I heard a woman nearby howling with laughter. Fortunately, I didn't suffer for long. A passing adventurer cured my sight with a sooner, and I went about the rest of my day as though nothing had happened, but I haven't been able to look at a fruit the same way since. Your investigation of Hawker's Alley has proven successful, but you sense there is more to be found. Seek out the Yellow Jacket on patrol, who may have further details on the blinding incidents. Oh, there. Tofty, good you're Ravenna, aren't you? The Ravenna? It's an honor to meet the realm's wounded hero up close. Is that what I can assist you with? I hear all sorts on my round, so if it's information you're after, you've come to the right person. Oh, the serial blindings. They're causing a terrible ruckus around here. You know, a woman in red came this way a few moments ago to ask about the very same. I take it you two are acquainted? Ah, I thought so. As I told her, another incident was reported yesterday morning. The victim bought fruit from a local vendor, took a few bites, then temporarily lost all vision. Same as the rest. The vendor in question was last seen to the south of Octant, so I'm headed there to follow their trail. You're welcome to join me if it'll help your investigation. Maybe we can shortcut our way there via the Aethernet shard. I mean, it might mean less walking upstairs. He's paralyzed. We've got to do something. I've no talent for healing magics, and I don't have any spine drops on me either. Perhaps the Suna might do the trick. Cast a Suna. The Suna doesn't have a cast time anymore. I'm healed. I'm healed. Oh, thank the 12, and you lot, of course. Excellent work, Ray. On behalf of the Yellow Jackets, I owe you my thanks as well. Now, I hate to ruin the mood, but I need to report this to my superiors. Could you tell us what transpired here before we found you, sir? It was awful, just awful, I tell you. I was walking home after another arduous day at work, minding my own business when a Lalafellin merchant suddenly called out to me. You, my good man, look exhausted, he said. Why not soothe your weary spirit and fill your empty belly with one of the world's sweetest apples? You've earned it, nay, you deserve it! 'Twas a tempting sales pitch, but I wasn't keen to gamble on potentially cursed fruit. Sensing my apprehension, he proudly declared his merchandise safe to eat. He sounded sincere enough, even took a bite of the apple himself. No tainted fruit here, he boasted, just a normal, honest-to-goods produce. He sold me the apple at a reasonable discount and all seemed well. That is until I took my first bite. Numbness spread through my body like wildfire. I collapsed to the ground, struggling to speak a word. The vendor and his fruit had suddenly betrayed me, yet I don't know how. He built up an immunity, I guess. As I fell, a woman's shrill laughter echoed from a few yards away, and the vendors soon followed. I never saw the woman for myself, what with the whole not being able to move business. But between her laughing fits, she made mention of a heart sting or some such. Oh, you poor dear. And this woman you mentioned, you're positive she spoke the word heart sting? As surely as the wind blows, for mercy, neither she nor my vendor friend, nor her vendor friend tried to steal my belongings, but they've certainly stolen my dignity. I hope those conniving charlatans gets what's coming to them. This is dangerous fruit we're dealing with. First blindness, now paralysis. But first things first, I should escort this man home. If you've a mind to pursue the perpetrators further, then have care out there, alright? I need to stop accidentally scrolling through text. It's annoying. There's no doubt about it then. Our thieves are at large, right here in Limsa Minsa. The blinding toxin is simple enough to master, but it's unsettling how quickly they've learned to inflict paralysis as well. I just don't see what purpose this all serves. Were you able to learn anything from their motives? So they take pleasure in their victims' pain, but nothing more. At least nothing more than we know of. Whatever their true aim may be, we must discover it quickly, before more victims suffer at their hands. A hunter must adapt their environment if they wish to snare their prey, but I've learned so much about this place. I have so much to learn about this place. Still, I've tracked them this far, which is a good start. For the time being, I'd like to petition those officers in yellow for any new information they've acquired on the Hastings' whereabouts. When we come across any more promising leads, I hope I can count on your support again. Causing problems on purpose. Loshkana seeks a word of advice. Say, Ray, can you spare a moment? I'll try to start on a positive note. The good news is there's been no further incidents involving poisoned fruit. I should be happy about that, but it's not exactly conducive to tracking down our thieves. Despite my best attempts, my investigation is at a standstill. Ray! I bring news from Coral Tower. A Lilliphellan man matching the description of that fruit vendor was seen leaving the city with a Huron woman. Seems they're making for Aleport. We've increased patrols of late, so if I had to guess, the culprits are finding it hard to operate within the city. Seems to have forced them to withdraw for the time being. Aleport, you say? That's on this island, isn't it? Yeah, that's right. It's possible to go on foot, but the ferry by Fisherman's Guild can take you straight there. While we Yellow Jackets must continue to keep an eye on things here, it's reassuring to know that an adventurer of Ray's caliber is on the case. If you plan to pursue the suspects, Airport's your best bet. That said, I should get back to work. It was an honor to meet you and your friend Ray. Safe travels to you both. Give those crooks a good thrashing for me. The city's protectors place so much trust in your abilities. I'm lucky to have you on my side. When I first set sail for Aosia, I feared I'd never see the Heartsting again. But we're one step closer to bringing it home. In any event, we'd best find our way to the port town before that pair of troublemakers defiles another's fruit supply. I'll go on ahead and take the ferry. Meet me in the airport once you're ready. We'll be fine as long as they don't figure out how to inflict silence. If they can inflict silence, then we're going to be in a lot of trouble, because then we can't use a Suna anymore. It's a spell. Although... Maybe at some point I should pick up a few anti-silence potions. That'd probably be for the best. Go find some anti-silence potions from Gridania. This beret is bound for Airport. Are you riding with us? It's only 40 gil. It'll be fine. Ah, there you are, Ray. You're a welcome sight among such unfamiliar scenery. The ferry skipper was eager to teach me all about this area on the ride here, so I believe I have a general idea of what's what. Wouldn't want to lose my bearings on a hunt this important. I asked him about our merchants, but he said he hasn't seen a player like that. The skipper did mention another merchant though, one who's well versed in the comings and goings of his fellow traders. If anyone's sighted our unlikely duo, it's him. Let's hope it's enough to put us on the culprit's trail again. The merchant we seek should be peddling his wares by the gate to Skull Valley, so let's start there. Can I help you? A little fellow and a hero travelling together. I have spied him, though I'd never seen him before. Certainly made an impression. He sold some potions and elixirs to prepare fresh-faced adventurers on the cheap from what I could tell. If those merchants really are our culprits, then those potions are most likely tainted with toxins. Toxins, you say? That don't bode well. The adventurers who bought them, a marauder named Wislam and a conjurer named Zerg, already left for their next job, said they were escorting one of the local farmers over to Swiftbirch. They're good lads, the two of them. They've been making life easier for the small folk ever since they arrived. I'd hate to see something happen to them. Someone needs to warn them about those potions right quick. Leave it to us. Swiftbirch is to the southeast of here, yeah? Let's find them before the poison takes hold. Mammoths? Oh, level 92 mammoths. Ugh, thank the gods you found us when you did. Those potion sellers must have swindled us. One draught of elixir was all it took to send Zerg into the most furious fit of hiccups I've ever seen. Poor bastard couldn't cast a single spell. Calling it poor bastard. If the Heartsting's toxins are at work here, we should be able to cleanse them with this sooner. Same as last time. I'm sorry, did you say... Oh, sod it. We'll have plenty of time to chat after Zerg stops hiccuping up a storm. I hate to ask more of you, but if you could cast this unit on my partner, it'd be much appreciated. I can speak again. You have my thanks. Bloody hells. First we waste a hard-earned coin on poison potions. Now there are killer mammoths on the loose. What's the world coming to? Who goes there? Show yourself. Oh, me, my spear-wielding friend is sharp of eye. You're the frauds from Vailport. Why yes, and watching your scrawny compatriot suffer was the highlight of our day. I admit the poison was meant to silence him, but hiccups? 'Twas comedy at its finest. Perhaps the elixir reacted with the venom. Regardless, we've had our fill of fun from the results, so I shan't complain. Venom? Then you must be the thieving cowards from the Passage of the Unbound. Oh, my sweet fairy apple, you know us? I suppose that means we're famous. I can't believe it. Oh, who am I kidding? Oh, yes, I can. Indeed, I am the Passage of the Unbound's alchemist extraordinaire, the illustrious Ellerette. I am so very pleased to make your acquaintance. Koko Nawaka, at your service. Ellerette's helping hand and master of mammoths. Your garb is so familiar to me, my dear. Ah, don't tell me. You hail from that little village in Trowel, don't you? My goodness, you've come a long way. How was the voyage? Enjoying the sights? Enough! You got a lot of explaining to do, starting with the reason you took the Heartsting. Is this part of your organization's grand scheme? Well, well, the apple bites back. 'Tis true that my unbound compatriots harbour lofty ambitions, yes. But I have no interest in overthrowing nations. I merely crave the miles of chaos they've promised me. I aim to bring more laughter into this dreary world, one mischief, and a few handy poisons at a time. Coco Noir and I are having oodles of fun expanding our repertoire of toxic treats. Yet there's no greater kill to our thrills than a healer who can whisk our hard work away. Unless, of course, I master a toxin even she can't cure. Ooh, I do love a challenge. Now, I hate to leave you, my dears, but our work here is done and we have a busy schedule ahead of us. My Mr. Man, Miss Tease to master. Ta-ta for now. No, wait, damn you! Oh, that stench smells like a corpse just shat itself. This odor is too much to bear. Take me home to the 12's Wisdom. The air is clearer there. Oh no, don't you dare give out on me, Zerg. We've still got a job to do. We mustn't keep our client waiting any longer, but we're in your debt. Thank you again for everything, Miss... Loish Kana, and this here is Ray. Take care of each other out there. Much as I'd like to track down the Unbound, I know better than to tread further into their territory without a plan. For now, I think it best we return to Limsa Laminsa. Like, it feels like they're only just a bit of a mild inconvenience, but sowing such distrust in people's potions and fruit and all that is going to have pretty severe consequences if we can't shut them down quickly. So it's a good thing that we're already level 100 and can just chain them all together, right? If only she was a little bit closer to the Aethernet shard. Thank you for the support back there, Ray. Asuna truly does work wonders. And that Elleret. Can't stop thinking about what she said. My blood boils knowing that this is all some sick game to her. How dare she toy with the Heartsting for her own amusement? Honestly, even the youngest children in my village have more sense. Still, we did make progress. Now that the villains have revealed themselves, it'll be easy to give chase when they choose to make their next move. In any case, I'll keep you apprised of the latest news as soon as I hear it. We'll be back to the hunt before long. Like right now. Living among the deadly. Loish Kana is staring wistfully into the horizon. Oh, it's you, Ray. You'll have to forgive the down mood. I don't understand it. How is it that Elleret and Kokonawa can so grandiosely reveal their names and identities, yet I remain unable to track them down? I've been following the latest hearsay, but I haven't had much luck. Not a single soul's seen him since the incident with Lislam and Zerg. But that's not to say I've given up entirely. Now that they know I'm on their trail, I suspect they're using my unfamiliarity with this island to their advantage. I dare say they're lying low outside the city. That's why I propose a trip to the Morbi dry docks. Folk here often speak of it, but I've yet to go there myself, so it seems as good a place as any. If you're game, I'll meet you there. So, on the way, I want to stop by the Twin Adder Barracks. Because if I check in at the Quartermaster... Echo drops. Instantly recures most instances of silence. We might need this. You usually don't see goldsmiths and alchemists being the villains. They're supposed to be non-combat classes. Where in the hells could he have gone? Ah, there you are, Ray. While I was waiting for you, this fella came asking for our help. Sorry to trouble you, but my little brother's gone missing. I gotta use a hand finding him. He said he wanted to see the ships that I made, so I started showing him around, but the next thing I knew, he was gone. Lad's probably got himself lost. Oh, that poor dear. I know we still have the hosting to consider, but I'd like to search for this little man's brother, if that's alright with you. Much appreciated. I'm sure we'll find him all the faster with your help. You have me thanks. My brother wouldn't say boo to a goose, so I doubt he'd leave the docks on his own. He's got a mob of red hair like mine, so you'll know him when you see him. We'll keep an eye out. I know you're itching to search for him as well, but could I ask you to wait here in case he comes back? Let's split up so we can cover more ground. Good luck! I mean, you say that, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna be related. I'm scared. Where are you? Huh? You're here to take me back to my brother? You found the little one, Ray. I'm so glad he's safe. I just wanted to see the ships my brother was working on. I thought I could see him better from higher up, but I lost my way. Sounds like you've had quite the adventure. Well, you were very brave today, so I'll tell you a secret. Even grown-ups get lost. I have an awful time learning my way around somewhere new, even with a map. Really? I guess I'm not the only one. Smile. We like to see those. Now, your brother's very worried about you, so you can promise you won't go wandering off on your own again? I promise I should say sorry to my brother too. Let's take him back then. Your lifesavers, both of you. You deserve a proper reward, but I ain't got much to offer at the moment. Oh wait, no need of coin, just some information if you have it. Have you seen a Huron woman and a Lalafellin man around the docks in recent days? One is an alchemist, the other a goldsmith. They likely have a few mammoths with them as well. If not, have you heard any rumours of food or drink that causes ailments when you consume them? Blindness or numbness, perhaps? Afraid I haven't heard of anything or anyone like that. Sorry I couldn't be more help to you. That's right. That's alright. Knowing they haven't been around the docks is equally helpful. Well, that's good at least. I'll be praying to the navigator if we both find who you're looking for. Any road, the two of us ought to be heading home. Thanks again for everything. Good fortune and safe travels to you both. Wait, it wasn't related at all? There's still no word of the Unbound, but at least we could help those brothers. Children often let their curiosity guide them, which means they'll naturally wander off on their own adventures. I don't blame that man for worrying as much as he did. Something tells me you speak from personal experience. I do in fact. I'm the oldest sibling in my family. I can't tell you how many times I've had to search for my brothers and sisters when they were grown up. Now that I think on it, I've barely told you anything about my family or my village or anything really. I'll be happy to share a few stories if you'd like. The ocean view here is beautiful, so we may as well enjoy the scenery and relax a little bit. My people hail from the northern valleys of Dawntrail. We're a close-knit community of hunters for the most part. Children are given spears, well, practice ones, before they even learn to walk, and we hone our tracking skills from a very young age. Is it surprising? It seems second nature to me, but then again I've encountered my fair share of surprises here as well. Our village rests in a veritable sea of poisonous plants and animals, so the slightest injury on a hunt can prove deadly. Thus, we believe it prudent to begin our training as early as possible. Yet no matter how skilled we might become, accidents are inevitable, and the heart sting proves vital to our survival. Not only does it produce poison, it cleanses it as well. In the right hands, it can dispel some of the deadliest natural toxins known to mankind. It even purifies the beasts we hunt. In fact, our diet consists of highly venomous creatures, ones that would kill a grown adult if ingested. I thought venom means that if it bites you, you die. The heart sting allows us to lead a quiet, peaceful life in lands where others dare not tread. It always has. I suppose that's why I never imagined someone like Ellerit would take that away from us. When I left, our village food stores were well stocked, but I can't bear the thought of my younger brothers and sisters going hungry. I must return the heart sting as soon as I can for their sakes. I wish to bring back their smiles and make them feel safe again, just as we did for that young boy. In any case, thank you for listening. Thinking of home puts me in good spirits. As long as I remember who and what I'm here for, it'll be alright, I know it. But I've kept you long enough. I think it's time we made our way back to Limsa Liminsa, don't you? Oh wait, no, we can't. Right, it's a long walk. That Sharlayan maiden is still looking for someone to take up Sage. That was a much needed reprieve, but we'll need to plan for our next destination. And soon. Well now, fancy meeting you here. It's good to see you two again. What brings you to the Limsa Liminsa? Nothing of import really, just restocking before our next job, and we happened to stop you along the way. Didn't want to miss the opportunity to greet our heroes. Our client arrived a swift approach in one piece thanks to your timely assistance. Indeed, while I regret that you had to see us in such a pitiable state, we're both grateful for your aid. When last we met, you spoke of pursuing those two charlatans, did you not? Yeah, that's right. They've stolen a precious heirloom from my village, so I'm doing everything in my power to return it to its rightful place. So that's the way of it. Bombastic as those two were, we've not seen hide nor hair of them since the airboat since. No word of any incidents like ours either. I have a feeling they won't stay in the shadows for long. If we sniff out any suspicious incidents while we're out and about, we'll keep you informed. I won't say no to some extra pairs of eyes around the island. I've made my base of operations here in the city, so if you hear even a peep about poisoning, you know where to find us. Are we going to have a full party for our big final instance battle, I wonder? Well, we may not have found any leads on Ellerit, but I'm glad we had a chance to chat. With Wislam and Zerg on our side, things are looking up. Oh, damn it. For now, I'll keep in touch with our newfound allies. Should I hear any news on our culprits, I'll be sure to let you know. Living among the deadly. Taste of a toxin paradise. Loshkana nearly jumps for joy at the sight of you. Hooray, am I glad to see you! I've just received word from Wislam and Zerg. Our culprits have finally been spotted. It seems the thieves are headed for Upper Lanosia. I offered to make my way there as soon as I could, but Wislam and Zerg said I should hang back for now. Once they've gathered enough information, they'll be heading back to Airport. Let's go and see what news they have to share. Back to Airport. It would be cheaper to take the ferry, but I don't have the time for that. No sign of Wislam and Zerg yet. I don't mean to assume the worst, but I admit I'm a bit worried. I knew I should have insisted on going. I don't want them injured on my behalf. I say we head out and find them. Miss Loshkana, terribly sorry for the delay. Wislam, Zerg, thank goodness. How did you fare out there? You found Eller and Kokoanahoa, yes? Oh, we found them all right, but it didn't take them long to find us. We were set upon by Kokonoa's mammoths. His mechanical menagerie greatly outnumbered us. It may very well have been our end. Death by mammoths isn't an ideal way to go, mind you, so a retreat was our only option. Cowardly though it may sound, we needed to ensure we could keep you aware of the culprits' whereabouts. Before they spotted us, they were stuffing their little metal army into a skiff bound for Camp Bronze Lake, and mark my words, they're plotting something new. Of course, it's entirely possible they seek a quiet route to eastern Lanosia and wish to bypass Bronze Lake instead, but a thorough search of the camp would be wise. Alas, the enemy you face is far beyond our capabilities, so this is as far as Wislam and I will be able to go. I'm sorry we couldn't provide more decisive information. Honestly, I should be the one apologizing. You risked life and limb for me already. I didn't mean to push you past your limits. You needn't dwell on it. We're as eager to bring those criminals to justice as you. Indeed, we shall, at least, take pride in knowing we could point you in the right direction. But we should take our leave for now. Wislam and I ran most of the way here, and I think I speak for us both when I say we could use a comfortable chair and a hearty meal. None can gainsay your strength, my friends, but I beg you not to underestimate our foe. Go well, and may your determination guide you to victory. Camp Bronze Lake. The ferry skipper spoke of the place my first time here. We should hurry and seek passage before Elert and Kokonoa will elude us again. Kokonoa. Right, that one with the mammal jar dancer who hangs around every now and then for the fates. Gotcha. If it can produce cures, then presumably they produced the cure for Kokonoa before he took a bite out of that apple, so it wouldn't hurt him at all. What a lovely camp! Now, if I were a half-crazed alchemist with a heartsting and a new scheme up my sleeve, where would I hide? Are they going to poison the hot springs? Is it just me, or is there pigs flying in the sky? It hurts to laugh. Yep, they poison the hot springs. Oh dear, that doesn't bode well. To the upper levels, Ray, quickly! poison in the springs? You truly are the lowest of the low. Heh, you flatter me. 'Twas just a little poison, really, as a treat. I'm afraid I couldn't contaminate all the water here, but we're having oh so much fun with our shiny new hallucinatory toxin. Step away from the springs, Ray. Now. Protecting the healer, are we? How sickeningly sweet of you. But you ought to watch your step as well, my dear fairy apple, lest you find yourself seeing stars or, Ellered is ought to miss. She poisoned herself. Oh, Kokonoa, you look absolutely hideous. Or should I say adorable? Why, you're as bunny as a porcelain doll. The hell are you on about? Oh, very interesting. Yes, very interesting indeed. I believe I may have poisoned myself. There's a predicament. And guess what? Do you recall these antidotes I prepared at the base? Because I've forgotten to bring them. You are your worst enemy, do you know that? I suggest we retreat before you decide to dive first into the springs for fun. Unbound scum, you think you're allowed to walk free after all the chaos you've caused? Why, yes, actually. Have you even seen Ellered? She's in no state to contend with you, and I've never been one for rough and tumble. Of course you're welcome to give chase, provided you have no qualms about leaving these poor souls to laugh themselves senseless. Oh, retreat though we must. I would call today a rousing success. But worry you not, my dearest bushel of busybodies, who have plenty more tricks in store for you at the entire island. This villain is way less competent, but no less dangerous with how much she's throwing around all these poisons. I don't sense any toxins in the water anymore, so the springs should be safe again. Will the toxins affect the local wildlife? Seeing as Ellered suffered from a taste of her own medicine, I doubt she's mastered much of the Heartsting's power. As such, any poison she produces from it would be relatively weak. Most of her handiwork already evaporated with steam. One might compare it to the way those awful unbound smoke bombs dissipate, and thank goodness they do. In more capable hands, however, the Heartsting's poison remains active unless dispelled with Asuna or another form of antidote. The same permeance applies to its cleansing abilities for our food. Now there's much on my mind, but I think with bigger problems to address first, let's make our rounds of the camp and talk about our next steps. I'm going to have a look around the springs to ensure the toxins are gone for good. Can I ask you to treat any victims you come across? It's what I do. I'm a scholar. Much appreciated, madam. I wasn't anywhere near the water when it was poisoned, but the toxic steam must have drifted this way. When I heard the rumblings about mysterious mammoths roaming the camp recently, I was more than a little apprehensive, but I never expected those mammoths' masters would do something so cruel. Your efforts are helping us put this turmoil behind us, and for that you have my thanks. But I can't simply let you administer this aid alone. I should tend to the remaining victims as well. Oh, thank the gods. I wasn't expecting to nearly laugh myself to death at a place meant for healing, but at least I can breathe easy again. I hear you're chasing after the ones who did this. You're either very brave or very reckless, but I'm inclined to assume the former. Any road, all that laughing has left me exhausted, so I may as well take a break from my soak. Thank you again for your kindness, and may the Navigator keep you. My costume compatriots, they're gone! Farewell, my visions, may you revel on in my memory. They say laughter is the best medicine, though I feel far worse than before. Many thanks for putting an end to it. I think I've earned myself another soak and an extra flagon of mulled wine. Pleasant travels to you, healer. How goes the healing ray? Wonderful. I'm glad it sooner proved effective. For my part, I've given the springs a thorough look. The toxins have dissipated completely, so the bathers should be safe from here on out. As for Elert and Kokonoa's antics, I've had a moment to reflect on everything. Now that our work is done, do you have a moment to chat? I'm well versed in the numbing and blinding poisons we used on our hunts at home, but something kept troubling me about Elert's toxins. I've never seen anything like it. I had no idea it even existed among the Scorpion's gifts. Elert may be inexperienced, but the fact she's learned to inflict hallucinations is cause for concern. Still, we should try to look on the bright side. She's yet to discover the heartstrings' cleansing properties, judging by the way she couldn't cure her own ailments. Knowing her as we do, I reckon she only has toxic trickery on her mind. Kokonoa, however, handled himself surprisingly well despite his exposure. Do you recall the man in Limsa Liminsa who ate the poisoned apple? He claimed that Kokonoa took a bite yet never suffered its ill effects. He must have some manner of immunity, but how? This reminds me of the attempt on the Sultana's life. Traditional Dunesfolk families often drink poison teas to build tolerance. How intriguing! So instead of using an heirloom like the Heartsting, the Dunesfolk trained their bodies to endure fatal toxins. I'd be interested to try that tea, as long as I had an antidote in hand. I didn't realize Kokonoa might have had that sort of upbringing, but it would certainly explain why Elert's tricks don't seem to affect him. Few in my village would ever think to consume potentially lethal food or drink without drawing on the Heartsting's power. Yet Dunesfolk do it gladly. The more I consider our differing approaches to poison, the more fascinating it becomes. But I have a feeling the bathers wouldn't want to overhear talk of poisons after what they've been through. Why don't we continue our discussion in Limsa Liminsa? It was raining in Gridania when we teleported there. I guess those rain clouds finally made it to Limsa. Yep, it's still raining. I know I've been anxious to ascertain our thieves' whereabouts, but things escalated far quicker than I thought. Your presence throughout the whole ordeal was a welcome on Ray. What was not so welcome were Ellert's parting words. Whatever she has planned for the whole island, it can't possibly be good. Her acts of mischief have only grown worse since I arrived in the city. We must take the Heartsling back before she causes any lasting harm. Of course, it was Wislam and Zeri's efforts that led us to Elleret, so I'll have to thank them when I get the chance. In the meantime, I'll do what I can to track down our unruly thieves and report to you as soon as I'm able. Down by the river. We're almost there. Mesquite juice. Okay. Loshkana is carefully planning her next move. Right, I'm glad you're here. I'm on the cusp of a great breakthrough in our search. Or, I'd like to think so. This won't come as a surprise, but Elleret and Kokonoa went back into hiding after the Bronze Lake incident. With all their grandstanding, I wasn't expecting them to lay so low for so long. But I doubt they'll keep it that way. Fortunately, we have prior experience to guide us. Until now, our culprits have travelled all over Valbrand. They don't appear to be retracing their steps. I hear Costa del Sol attracts many visitors, so that seems like a likely target. They say it's owned by an entrepreneur named Gege Ruju. Perhaps we can ask if he spied anything out of the ordinary. What a picturesque scenery. I hadn't expected Costa del Sol to be so grand. From what I gather, Gege Ruju should be just up ahead. I don't suppose you're already acquainted with him? For better or for worse? Yes. That's not very encouraging, but as long as you're on good enough terms, I'm sure we'll be fine. In any case, let's be on our way. What can I say? We can't really control the weather here. Well, well, if it isn't our favourite intrepid adventurer, what business brings you to my abode? Why, yes, I did spy that lovely specimen over here. Alas, I was so entranced by her feminine wiles, I cannot recall any such entourage of Lilithillan men or mammoths. Would that I never drank that wine she so gracefully gifted me. A single sip and I saw oh so many stars. I felt them wonderful in those first blissful moments. I partook of the drink amongst my retinue of kittens. Yet as the rush of stars subsided, I found myself surrounded by a flock of unfamiliar faces instead. At first I presumed the wine caught up to me faster than I had anticipated, but time passed and the unknown faces stubbornly remained. I dashed across the shoreline in terror. In the midst of the mayhem, I could hear her, the wild-wielding beauty, maniacally laughing in the distance with some other chap. I feared those cackles would be the last thing I ever heard. Which is precisely why I found it appropriate to slap the sense back into him. Oh, it's you. Judging by the way Master Gege Ruju was darting around at the time, I suspected it had been in his cups. Drank the whole bloody bottle too, so if you wish to investigate the wine itself, I'm afraid it won't be possible. Can you blame me? Questionability of wine aside, the woman was immaculate, a sight for sore eyes. Any gentleman of taste would have fallen for her tricks. Though we may lack the drink in question, we've received reports of mammoths roaming Raincatcher Gully not long after the incident. If you intend to investigate this further, you'd certainly be doing us a favour. Any news of wayward mammoths is promising for us. We'll give the gully a look and relay to you whatever we find. Godspeed out there. Then our next destination is clear, but before we depart, Ray, might I have a word? Based on Gegeruju's account, it's safe to say Ellert's discovered a new poison. Well, similar to the hallucinatory toxin she used at Bronze Lake, it strikes terror into the hearts of its victims instead. I have a bad feeling about this. She's gaining proficiency with the heart sting at an alarming rate, so we must tread carefully when we next cross paths with her. As for the mammoths, Kokonoa doesn't seem like the type to send them wandering around aimlessly. That's why I think they're bound to have some clues on them. If we can track down those mammoths in Raincatcher Gully, we may be able to discern what those two are planning next. I get the feeling that all of these toxins are going to play into the actual instance battle against them, so hallucinogens probably means that we're going to have to do some unintuitive telegraph reactions, is it what I'm expecting? Can I fly above this mountainside? Yes, I can. So much for you can't fly any higher, right? We're gonna call out our Chocobo for this because I get the feeling they're going to be a lot stronger this time. KA Model Mammoth, KR Model Mammoth. KR Model Mammoth. River survey notes, huh? A comprehensive report detailing Viobrand's every waterway. Oh, that's bad. They're going, if they've figured out how to make this stuff last, then they could just dump it into the rivers. I think we've cleared out the mammoths. How fared your hunt? So they've been keeping a record of the island's rivers. Oddly enough, the mammoths I came across were patrolling the river as well. Now that they've tested their poison on Bronze Lake Springs, do they mean to take to the rivers next? Brave, watch out! My, that dart was laced with a potent numbing toxin, but nothing bruises our favourite fairy apple, it seems. You never cease to amaze and annoy me in equal measure. She's likely to have the same manner of immunity as I. Her village was positively brimming with poisonous flora and fauna, after all. I have a request for you, my dears. Will you please give up on your little trinket? Pretty please? I only wish to revel in the fruits of my devilry, yet you continue to spoil my every attempt. And trust me, I despise our clone village as much as you do. Indeed, do you think we enjoy watching our finest mammoths suffer at your hands? Enough! If you truly wanted to end this, you'd hand over the heart sting. The scorpion gifts weren't meant for a petulant, childish criminal like you. Fine then, no more Miss Nice, Elleret. But answer me this. Who have my antics killed, Who? No one, I remind you. So why must you refuse me? Why must the world refuse me? Our blighted society has never looked fondly upon my love of mischief. For years I despaired until my unbound family and its leader granted me the greatest gifts of all. Love and understanding. So long as I remain unbound, I care not what the wretched masses think. I shall play my tricks as my heart desires, and all who stand in defiance shall know my wrath. That includes you, my dears. My next scheme will finally plunge this island into the chaos I so desperately crave. I will stop at nothing to see it realized. One of these days we're going to cast Ruin on that thing mid-burst so that it won't stun us. Sorry to worry you, Ray, but I'm feeling much better now. I'm ashamed I didn't sense that mammoth's presence quickly enough, but I'm glad you came out of the ambush unscathed. That aside, I wish they didn't use such putrid smoke to make their exits. I don't know if my nose or stomach can take any more of those awful bombs. With Ellerit and Kokonoa gone, I doubt we'll be able to find much else here. Let's return to Costa del Sol and inform them of the latest. Shall we report to Geruju? Back already? How fortuitous, or ominous, or both even! I take it you found those wayward mammoths. Surveying Vilebrand's waterways, are they? After the recent poisoning at Camp Bronze Lake, we have reason to believe the culprits are planning to make Vilebrand's rivers their next target. So the culprits are the one and the same then? I'd had my suspicions since I caught wind of the incident at Warmine Springs. Regardless, this bodes ill. We may not know which of these rivers they'll strike until it's too late. Well, I shall not stand for any more preposterous poisonings. 'Twould be prudent to inform the Maelstrom of these potential horrors. The one who poisoned you, her name is Ellerit. She stole something precious from my village. I must recover it no matter the cost. If you learn anything of her whereabouts or her plans in the coming days, anything at all, I'd like to hear of it as well. Bill's bent on finding her, eh? The brave one you are. Oh, I couldn't possibly deprive a lovely lady of the information she requires. Worry not, for my servants shall sally forth in your general direction the moment they hear of Ellerit's newest misdeeds. Oh, thank you, that'd be much appreciated. It's gonna be an uphill battle, but we can't afford to let Ellerit and Kokonoa delude us any further. Come, Ray, it's back to Limsa Laminsa with us. So he is a bit of a lecherous rich layabout, but he does have some redeeming qualities. I'm sure if I had enough time I could think of one or two of them. It makes me think of the time where he was worried about how some of his dancers weren't showing up, and it turned out that they had just stopped to play in the water for a bit, and he said, "Oh, well, that's okay then. I'm a rich man, anticipation can be just as fulfilling as actually getting to see their dancing, so I will wait." Although I guess in a way that's also, if that's the best I can come up with for positive traits, then it doesn't really say much, does it? Unfortunately, we have pulled a fast one on him in the past. One of the Alliance Raid quest lines has you giving him a counterfeit wine bottle. It didn't really feel good about that one. Thank you for support as always, Ray. Gege Jiruju was interesting to say the least, but I'm glad we obtained the information we needed. I don't know why I allowed Ellerit to say her piece. Should have swallowed my pain and taken up my spear. We could have apprehended her right then and there, and yet... We have to wait till level 100, it's the only way. There's no room for mistakes. The longer Ellerit lurks in the shadows, the greater the threat she becomes. Countless lives are at risk. The next time we find her, we end our tricks once and for all. For now, I'll remain here and await news from Costa del Sol. Actually, what was the thing that we just got? Oh right, the mesquite juice. Mosquito juice, perhaps? Loshkana is anxiously awaiting word from Costa del Sol. Hello there, Ray. I've been on the lookout for anyone from Costa del Sol, but nothing yet. Perhaps we should travel over there ourselves, just in case. Mistress Ray, Mistress Loshkana! Forgive the sudden entrance, but I bring a message from Master Gegajuju. Your quarry has been sighted in Eastern Lanosia, and you... Which is the... ban? Oh, well, I'm glad I didn't leave early. Thank you for bringing word. Where in Eastern Lanosia were they last seen? Master Waistguide, but recently received a report from Mistress Brayflox, a trusted associate of his, who've been told a number of inbreakers with fighting tools and tinkerdolls infiltrated her log stop. We have little doubt the inbreakers and tinkerdolls she speaks of are Ellerit and her troop. I see, then we'd best find this Brayflox, and soon. Indeed, you're likely to find her by the entrance to Longstop in Raincatcher Gully. My master and his associates wish you good hunting. We should get a first-hand account from Brayflox as well. Perhaps she'll have more to tell. Let's be off, Ray. The problem that I have with Lalafels is that I'm so much quicker to think of all the terrible Lalafels that we deal with than any of the actual good ones. Like, we have the Sultana and the Lalafel Marauder for the Scholar quests, but they never come to mind. I always think of Geruju. And the Syndicate Lalafels that had that whole thing going on with poisoning the Sultana. It's just... ugh. Don't like Lalafels. Brayflox all talks. So this is Brayflox. I told her she reminded me of a moblin, but I got a bit of a scolding for that. Not mobbies, she said. Gobbies! Yes, gobbies, and gobbies require hand lending to backstriker inbreakers. Inbreakers bring big flock of tinkerdolls to search for water gush. Water gush. Does Ellerit mean to poison the island's water source? This must be why they were researching the rivers. If the toxins are strong enough, anyone or anything that draws near the water would grow terribly ill. All of Valbrand would fall into disarray. Poison make no good for gobby flock, no good for Valbrand, no hearts in need of many punishings. This goes far beyond trickery. We must end Ellerit's ambitions here and now. I doubt she'll come quietly, and she has the heartstring at her disposal. But with your aid, Ray, I know we can take it back. As soon as you're ready, we'll storm the Longstop. Well, this is it. Ready to storm the Longstop, Ray? Item level 680, level sync 180, level sync 100. There they are. Ooh, I knew bringing those bits and bobs for battle was a good idea. If you're after some manner of surrender with heartfelt embraces and handing of magic heirlooms, you've come to the wrong stop, my dear. You monster. You plan to poison every waterway in Valbrand, don't you? But of course, the trick is to let the poison stew for a few bells. With a healthy helping of those tantalizing toxins and a dollop of advanced alchemical processes, poof, this eyesore of an island will get a taste of my finest work yet. My latest masterpiece neither dissipates nor evaporates, and no amount of inherent immunity can save you from its influence. It may be safe to the touch, but one tiny sip will have you begging for mercy. That's no jest, by the way. I won't begin to describe what manner of havoc the experimental doses wreaked on me. But I will be looking forward to see how it affects the general populace. Oh yes, the residents of Limsa Limits and its adorable little hamlets rely on this water. So very many people, blissfully unaware of what's to come. Every single one of those wretches will be at the mercy of our malice. Every single one! If she unleashes those toxins into the waterways, this is going to end up far worse than Bronze Lake. Playtime's over, Ellerit. Your precious scorpion once hunted prey with these poisons, yes? Perhaps I should learn from its example and revel in the thrill of the chase. I suspect that's my cue to back away. I'd rather watch the chaos unfurled from a safe distance. These venomous gifts keep on giving. My very ether is infused with their essence. So now, my dears. Unbound, Ellerit Venomheart. It's time I hunt you for a change. Scholar versus Scholar. One winner takes all. Antidote for Anarchy. Holy the charge ray, you focus on healing. This doesn't sound like it's going to be that. My dear sweet fairy apple, I'm afraid you've soured on me. Prepare to perish. Pesky problems call for alchemical solutions. Oh, great. God, that's bitter. Strengthening stimulant. Spells cannot be interrupted. Need this cleansed and quickly. Heightened excitement. MP is recovering. Past Asuna. Such terrible power. Time to break out the Ellerit special. There's got to be a point. Those tonics are bound to take their toll if she's not careful. Oh, I know. Why don't we set your heads a-spinning? Oh, great. Misdirection. What a marvelous mess you're in. If you don't hurry, it'll only get messier. Oh, I can't use rescue to help out. Dance only beginning, my dears. I've plenty more where that came from. My head. Down for the count. I grow weary of your tenacity. Mammoths to your positions! That feels so good. Nothing we can't handle has turned me into scrap metal. So woozy. Oh, for the love of... Pull yourself together, Ellerit! There has to be a phase 2 surprise to this somehow. I'll be fine, just a few more drops. She is increasing so much of her oh boy. Sting of the Scorpion. Can you withstand this, I wonder? Uh-oh. Catch me if you can. That one's the real Ellerit. Okay. Good thing you were keeping track of it, because I lost track when they first dashed. Desperate times call for desperate measures, as they say. I'll summon the defective mammoths. Does he ever run out of mammoths? I'm sorry, the what? No, 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 not me! Phony little shites! What in the hells are you doing? Initiate self-destruct protocol, that's what! Call them off, damn it! Lift off! Oh. I'll handle the rest, Kokonoa. Be a good little goldsmith and sit this out, if you insist. Stinging ambush, huh? I wish she showed up on the party gauge, because I'm so used to just hitting F2 to heal the important tank characters. Oh, not this again. Scorn of the Scorpion. Oh, yeah, that looks bad. Haha, poison here, poison there, poison, poison, everywhere. Listen to me, leave this to me, Ray. Just keep an eye on Ellerit. Stubborn worms, I will end you, do you hear me? Okay, now we're actually going to have to start dealing with damage. Taste the fury of the mountains. You are rotten to the core. Why do you persist? Stinging anguish. God damn it all. No, 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 no! My tonics, they betrayed me! I can't move! Paralysis, damage taken up, healing down, poison, poison. I don't feel so good. It's difficult to make an engaging healer instance. Enough, Ellerit! We must escape while we still can. Smoke bomb, quickly! Fine, have it your way. That's not a smoke bomb. Oh wait, that's a goblin maid! No, no, no! You rule the day you made enemies of the unbound! At least they dropped the totem, right? She's left quite the mess behind her. Nothing the hot sting can't detoxify though. Let's hurry and clear away the poison. There you are, Ray. We came in running in once we heard the explosion, but I'm pleased to see you're not worse for wear. You're none the worse for wear. Ellerit and Kokonawa picked up the wrong explosive. We should consider ourselves fortunate that goblin bombs resemble unbound smoke bombs. Psh! Gobby booms and friendly faces win the day! Inbreakers go flying skyward! We made ourselves a rounds on the long stop as well. The enemy mammoths patrolling the place have all gone lifeless. Your treasure is safe, I trust? Yes, thanks to Ray's support. Very good. Should those troublemakers survive the impending fall, they won't pose the same threat without it. If they do happen to show their sorry faces around here again, I've notified the Yellow Jackets to be on the lookout for them. They'll send their regards, and their deepest gratitude, of course. This one was a lot shorter than the other week, I feel. A lot more goofing around will do that to you, I guess. Big thanks to Uplanger. Many big thanks. The heart sting is safe again. Thank you for everything, Ray. And thank you too, Brayflox. We might not have found Ellerit and Kokonawa without you. Pshh, Brayflox happy gives hand lending. Important for all good gobbies to offer hand lending to fellow gobby friends. It's an honour to be counted among your gobby friends. Now, as I am to get this heart sting safely back to Terrell, I'd like to say my goodbyes to everyone here first, if that's alright. Wislam and Zarek deserve to know everything that transpired in the end, for one thing. Shall we make our way to Airport? Oh wow, that's quite the journey to make. The 216 gil is worth it. Well met, you two. How compares the hunt for Ellerit? Sent him flying, did ya? Now those are what I call good tidings. To think that it confused a goblin explosive for their own smoke bombs. Serves him right, I say. With Miss Loshkana's heirloom returned, we can breathe a collective sigh of relief. I, for one, am pleased there will be no more risk of poisoned elixirs. I couldn't have wished those hiccups on my worst enemy. By the by, Miss Loshkana, I knew you travelled far to get here, but I didn't realise you hailed from Tural. That's quite a voyage. Will you be heading home soon? Yes, that's right. Valbrand is a fascinating place, but my village is probably worried sick about me, and the Heartsting too. Though your time here was short, you will be sorely missed. We still have much to learn, but one day, perhaps we might find our way to Tural as well. Oh, that would be wonderful, and when you do, I'll look forward to hearing all about your adventures. And you! We had a feeling you were no ordinary adventurer. Imagine our surprise when we learned you were the savior of the realm herself! One of our Yellowjacket acquaintances boasted about meeting the Warrior of Light while investigating the cereal poisonings, and that's when it dawned on us! She sends her regards, by the way. With moms to go before we reach your lofty heights, but God's willing, we'll try to rise to the challenge. Indeed, you've given me much to aspire to follow to as a fellow healer, and I shall do my utmost to follow your shining example. Be well, you two. May we meet again on distant shores. Thank you both for your help. I'll never forget it. It's time I returned to Tural and to Tuliolo. It would mean the world to me if you'd come too, Ray. I wouldn't want to report our success to Neon Pine without you. And back to Tuliolo we go. So that's just about 2 hours. Should I jump over to Ibuki and do some main scenario, or just call the stream here? Loshkana! And Ray as well! Your combined presence here can only mean one thing. Ray and I have brought the Heartsting home. So you have. I regret I could not assist you, but I am relieved that all is well. Words cannot express my gratitude to you both. Taking back the Heartsting was no easy task, but I learned a great deal on my journey to Eorzea. One of the Unbound, a man called Kokonoa, possessed an inherent immunity to poison, built up by years of regularly ingesting small amounts. Rather than relying solely on the Scorpion's gift to detoxify us, perhaps we might learn from those traditions and build up a stronger immunity of our own. It would be prudent to prepare ourselves in case something like this ever happens again. If we're to continue living among the deadly, perhaps it's time we found new ways to overcome the challenges we face. Throughout my life in the village, I thought I knew everything there was to know about the Heartsting, but now I understand the Scorpion's gifts can easily become a curse in the wrong hands. Its power to poison can poison a single water source, threaten countless lives on a whim. Yet at the same time, its detoxifying powers can save just as many. I begin to wonder, could the Heartsting provide succor outside our village? Should it, or will the risks prove too great? Excellent questions all. Knowing what the Heartsting is capable of outside our borders, we must consider this carefully for the future of our people. I'm certain your father will wish to speak more of it upon our return. As you can see, our community has much to consider if we're to keep thriving, but for the moment, I'm simply glad the Heartsting is back in Toral, and I can't thank you enough for your help. Until I met you, I'd never hunted alongside a healer, but knowing I had your support filled me with courage. Yours is a heartening presence, one I'm gonna miss dearly. You have my gratitude and my trust, Ray, now and forever. But as much as I'd like to, I won't keep you any longer. Pine and I have a long trek home. I wish you all the best, and I know we'll meet again someday. That one wasn't nearly as serious or well written as the melee DPS was, and although we haven't seen it on stream yet, I also think that the tank one has a better idea. I think the tank one is also on the better scale of these, so if the ones that I haven't seen are all along that pattern, then I can understand why people weren't that invested in them. So what did you want? Physical range DPS. Alright. Jumping to the alternating tab for a bit. Alright, we're back with Carlo Vin. Because there is something that we can do that sort of ties to all the role questing we've been doing. Just as a way to fill in a bit more time before the end of the stream. Safekeeping. A follow-up to the Shadowbringers role quests. Ciela appears surprised, though not displeased, to see you. If it isn't Carlo, loitering about the stairs just like any old day. And here I was worried you'd gone back to your world for good, and I was too late. It's just that I've been thinking about the crystals belonging to the Warriors of Light. I hear they ended up with you after you lot defeated the Virtues. I assume you have Ardberts as well? Indeed, that does seem appropriate. His bond with Sato is deep and enduring. As for the others, I had hoped you might be persuaded to leave them in my care. It was only right that they, like Ardbert, should accompany you on your journey to set this world back on its proper course. Yet now you have a home you must return to, while the first is theirs. After all, they did keep it safe. They deserve to be here to see what its future holds. Oh, don't make that face. I know it's a big decision, but it needn't fall entirely to you. There are others here who care for the Warriors of Light as much as you do, aren't there? Now that's some fat, damn fine ale. How many should I order for you? I know you ain't much of a drinker, so 6, 7? What, do you want help deciding the fate of Lamit's crystal? And the others too? Does this place have any bigger tankards? Well, if you insist, Lurik owes me drinks. Plural. So I'll make sure he joins us. Maybe find Brett Granson while I'm at it. You go on and wait here with Serik and Tana. Order around while I'm out, you hear? Good to see you, Carlo. What did you say that has Giot so worked up? The crystals, eh? That does sound like a conversation worth getting everyone together for. Did Lurik really promise to pay for Giot's drinks? That's a disaster in the making. Not just hers. Rounds for the lot of us. Might be that lad has yet to learn things to learn about coin and the scarcity thereof. Still, I'll not turn down his generosity. Go tell the barkeep we'll be needing food and ale for the table. Fine, but please try to exercise some restraint. I'll not carry you back to the room again. Here we are. How much of a head start did you get? Should I ask him to bring out the cask? I reckon we should hear Carlo out first. So, you're telling me that the barmaid was one of Nalbert's companions, not to mention the Shadow Keeper, and from a different world? That's laying it on a bit thick. It certainly raises questions. Quite, seeing such as how she retains her youthful visage. Not that. I had my suspicions about her. The other night I was at the counter, quaffing my ale, having a grand time, and next I realize I'm outside without a guild to my name, and it ain't the first time. It could only be the power of the Shadow Keeper? And not that you drink enough to fell a small army. If Carlo says it's true, I'm inclined to believe it, which leaves us with the matter of entrusting the crystals to her. She's right, this was Branson's home. The others too, and it's home to their most important memories. Not all of them good, maybe, but everyone they loved is laid to rest here. I agree, Nalbert belongs here. Arbert's crystal is with Sato, so in this world, Lemit would want to be near. Rendere as well, I think. She'd want to be with her friends in the place that she loved. Sounds like a unanimous decision to me. It seems we all agree. A toast then to the Warriors of Light. To the Warriors of Light. Drink up, I'm paying, and as bounty hunters I expect you all to take proper advantage of that. I hate to disappoint, but I'm not much for alcohol. This juice looks nice though. That's not... How did you manage this? Twice the mess in half the time as normal patrons, I swear. I overheard your conversation, by the way. Do you agree with your friends? These crystals are yours, Storykeeper. Their legacies are safe with me. You have my word. Thank you. I can feel them. Their memories. Why, damn it? You're all just like Albert. I betrayed you, I manipulated you, and still... You thought of me as comrade, a friend, until the very end. Managed to clean up after you lot, for the most part. Perhaps next time we should set down a tarpaulin. Nevertheless, I'm grateful to you for entrusting these to me, and as long as I live, I will never stop sharing the true tale of the Warriors of Light, of my friends. The hero's journey. Ciela is not finished with you yet. Seeing the lot of you together like that, it reminds me of the old days. Ardbert and the rest, drinking and bickering and laughing, drove each other half mad at times, but there was never any question of who'd be there when times got tough. Can't help but wonder, can I, if I'd had companions like that back home, could it have been saved? I'm not the only one who tried though. Each of us stood alone. There was Unokai. We've met. He was working with Elidibus at the time. Yes, he too was one who would be saviour of the 13th, and spared his fated demise by Essene devices. We spoke once after destruction of our world. If others could be saved, we thought, we yet had parts to play. What's he up to now that Elidibus is gone, though? I have no idea. Has he found himself a new role, as I have, or does he feel as adrift as we did back then? If you encounter him in the source, I ask you to help him find a way forward, just as you have helped all of us here. Speak with Unokai at the Rising Stones. This might require you to have cleared all of the Warring Triad quests. Actually, I should be able to tell because I just opened it. Yes, you have to complete the Limitless Blue Extreme and Thok Extreme, a Fiendish Likeness, a Deific Simulacrum, and a Demonic Duplicate. So complete the entire Warring Triad and the corresponding extremes. Wait, no. These quests unlock the corresponding extremes, but it is not necessary to complete them. And then complete Safekeeping, which we just did. Well met, Carlo. What brings you here today? Urianger did apprise me of your travels in the first, and what became of Elidibus at long last. I was not aware that you were working with Silva. I consider her a comrade of sorts, though our time together was short. Looking upon the twisted remains of the world you tried to save creates a bond few can understand. At that time we spoke of what we could hope to achieve with our newfound immortality, and of our regrets. Though I then believed what had happened to be the natural result of my age and inexperience, I now think this was merely the least painful explanation I could offer myself. Silva was right. We ought to have sought each other out before it was too late. I would not make the same mistake again. With the warring triad gone, I am indeed in need of new purpose, but to seek it alone is folly. I should like to speak with Silva, assuming such a thing is possible. As I mentioned, she understands how I feel more than any other. Of course, all I require is your soul. There may be a way. You speak of the spirit vessel, correct? The means by which the scions return to the source. If I understand the principles at work correctly, then it was a near miracle you succeeded in bringing them back without killing them. If Elidibus is to be believed, however, my current state makes me something of an exception in matters of life and death. In which case there is naught to be lost from making the attempt. Please, say your help. I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing. We need an expert in spirit vessels. That's why we're going to call in our resident spirit vessels expert. Pray forgive the delay. Thou didst seek my counsel? Aye, the gifts granted young Unukai by Heidelin and the Essenes may prove a boon in easing the transition. However, I know not to what extent, nor what might befall thy spirit should it be lost betwixt worlds. Nevertheless, I know this is my path forward. Please, Urianger. Very well, if thou believest thou shalt find new purpose in the first, I will do all in my power to see thee safely there. We shall be but a few moments. Mayhap a worthy tome might keep thee occupied while I perform the necessary magics. Okay. Alright, so there's actually a second spin-off quest to this, but you have to complete the level 100 deep dungeons in order to get to it, it looks like, so I don't think Carlo has done that yet. Yeah, Pilgrimage of Light. We need to finish off that branch if we want to do that, so I guess there's something for me to do in my off time. "'Tis done, pray guard his vessel well." Unukai is as I and the other scions were on the first, a soul without form yet no true body. Thus 'twas a simple matter to transfer him to the vessel using the self-same process as before. To withdraw his essence once across the rift ought to prove similarly straightforward. However, I fear such an existence cannot sustain itself indefinitely. Look to the Asian's example. The persistent use of flesh and blood vessels surely hath cause. Be it danger akin to that which would have befallen us had we not returned to the source, I know not. But the time may come when the boy require a fully corporeal form. Should this come to pass, I trust thou shalt come to his aid. For the moment, however, thou need only convey the spirit vessel to Beakalug. Farewell, both of thee. Back again, are you? I'm flattered you've grown so fond of Norvant. Or I would be, but you have that expression you lot always wear when you're about to ask me for something. Unokai's spirit vessel. Best not to tell anyone about this lest you suddenly find yourself everyone's first choice in interworld ferry services. You did what? After all the perils your friends faced and the labours we undertook to return them to your world, you brought another soul across the rift. Have you no common sense? Nope. Clearly. Nevertheless, for my own peace of mind, I'll assume you have a compelling reason for this. Removing spirit from vessel will be easy enough, I suppose. However, it will require us a few moments without your breathing down my neck. Also, your friend is unlikely to materialize with her clothes on, so I doubt they'll want an audience. You should wait here. Perhaps take the moment for some self-reflection. Oh well, at least I tried. We'll find you at the Wandering Stairs directly then. Wanted me to speak with someone? Very well, you've done the same at my request often enough. How long are we meant to wait for this friend of yours? I do have work to do, you know. Ah, here you are. Pardon the delay, it took some time to acquire robes of an appropriate size. Is this them? Silver! What? Unokai? Indeed, it is I. Trust me, I can hardly believe that I'm here myself. I should think so. When I sent Carlo to ask after you, it never occurred to me you might be able to travel across the rift without Asian aid. Lost your taste for subterfuge, I see. My choices and my reasons are my own now. If I am to have faith in them, in myself, I cannot hide who I am. Speaking of which, Unokai was kind enough to fill me in on, unlike some, and I was interested to hear of an erstwhile hero of the 13th serving libations at the Wandering Stairs. But this hero should be you surpasses the scope of even my considerable imaginings. Was that you at Gruness Licht so long ago? Not so long to me, or you, mayhap, though I had thought I might at last put those days behind me. Perhaps this is for the best. They're not all bad memories. They never are. I should very much like to hear your story. Should you be willing to share it? Our world, like this one, had its share of would-be heroes. Myself and Unokai were among them. Unlike your warriors of light, however, each was unaware of, or unconcerned with, our fellows. But to fight alone is to fall alone, and the insidious aether of Orthsight used to seal primals corrupted once noble souls and turned them, one by one, to darkness. Even those who resisted this fate could not escape its consequences. No surprise, perhaps, as we continued to struggle in solitude. We were spared by Asian machinations, but only as our world met its death. But what if that death could be undone? I was told that much of the first was consumed by light, as our home was by darkness, yet balance and life are being restored to even that scarred land they call the Empty. If such a thing is possible, then why not the reverse? Could we not bring light back to the 13th? Even the Asians consider the 13th lost, thus it was excluded from the rejoining. But what say you? You have a way of making miracles happen. The world of darkness was not in a state I consider... it's not in a state I consider anything... No, it is salvageable. They're working on it. Anything is possible. That doesn't sound like an empty platitude coming from you. It was the same with Artbert. Pardon the interruption, but might I suggest a closer examination of conditions on the 13th before we form any conclusions? We could use the Void Gate, Crystal Tower, to open a Void Gate, couldn't we? Please? How would we go about it safely? According to the records, there was a group who worked out how to open small void gates, though which to summon minor fell beasts and the like. Magics of that nature should work, though I am unsure if any with knowledge of the original technique yet lived. They do! Taina! We can ask Taina! There's one right over there. How fortunate! Let us inquire with his Taina immediately. Yes, you do that. In the meantime, I will ready a means for peering into the depths of the void without endangering ourselves. Use these to contact me when you're prepared to open the gate. We shall, at the very first opportunity, I promise. It's always a pleasure, Carlo. Aye, but who's your friend? I don't believe we've met. We have not, as I'm not from this world. The situation is rather complicated, but I hope that you might be willing to assist me. It is true that we had the means to open such portals. We call them hollows, and it was through one of these when I was first drawn into the rift. So it is possible! Not with my power alone. I understand the greatness of your need, and were Nilebert still at my side, I should be glad to make the attempt, but the technique required the combined force of our energies and resonance. If one person's magics are insufficient, perhaps I could assist. From what I sense, our ethereal reserves are roughly equivalent, and our physical similarities suggest our energies are not incompatible. I fear you underestimate the difficulty of the task. Nilebert and I were born for this, and even so, it took us years before our efforts were perfectly in step. I realize it's a lot to ask considering we've just met, but could we not at least attempt it? Yours is the only such magic I've heard of, and if we might actually be able to save my home. May I interject? You will recall the crystals in my possession that preserve the memories of the former warriors of light, including Nilbert's, in ethereal form. And Unokai has a particular talent for interpreting the minds and motives of the ethereal beings, the primals. If I could apply the same principles to interpret Nalbert's crystal. An experiment worth trying at the very least. I'll fetch it. Speak to me, Nalbert. Do his memories with training with Taina remain? They do, and such strong sentiment with them. Taina, you should know that Nalbert desired nothing so much as to rescue you, his dearest friend. He held so fiercely to his memories of the technique you mastered together, because he hoped they might be your salvation. Oh, Nalbert, I won't let them go to waste. I will do what I can to help see the 13th restored. Thank you. I won't pretend to understand the half of what's going on here. Just keep them from running headlong into anything too dangerous, will ya? Nothing to worry about so long as you're around, I'm sure. Wicked, Wyatt, I'd nearly forgotten I've had half a dozen orders to fill. You know where to find me when you've made progress with the gate. The Hero's Journey. I don't like how much longer the episode is going on for. I feel like this should have been its own stream story arc, so yeah, one step closer. Next week, we go on to new role quests. If we have enough time left over, I will continue this story arc. But as it is, I really don't want to push my stream too long. So, until next time guys, take care. I'll see you all around.